Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rev Ann.
Welcome to our sunny island, Jamaica. Balmy, warm, vibrant colors. Just imagine that with me, just for a second. So welcome to our Sunday morning service in sunny Jamaica, our beloved Temple of Light, Center of Spiritual Living, Kingston, Jamaica. Please join me in this opening affirmative prayer. Oh, we acknowledge that presence of joy that is even now streaming forth through our conscious awareness. We celebrate this morning as another Sunday morning when we share in our consciousness of love that uplifts, enlightens, and illumines. I know for our speaker this morning, Reverend Michael, as a pure and open channel for the wisdom and intelligence that is up. I know that every word that he shares, every prayer that comes forth from our heart, and every song that is sung, celebrates that life of God that is within each one of us, that is pouring upon itself to create anew within us this wonderful day, a day in which we can truly rejoice in. So this perfect idea called a Sunday morning service, it's God in activity, perfect right. Action and indeed order, as we simply know, just let go and let that presence of love fill our hearts with song, blessings, and peons of praise. So we give thanks this morning as I release my word to that love that manifests a perfect experience for each and everyone joining us in our sanctuary and online this morning. Thank you, God, that this is so, and so it is. And as we move from that affirmative prayer to our chant, I am so blessed. We are indeed blessed, each and every one of us. The top of page 2 in your program and on the screen. I am so blessed. For a few moments in the silence, just remember the blessings that are continuously pouring forth in our lives and affairs. We give thanks. Open your eyes gently, bringing your conscious awareness to where you're sitting, or be with us in the sanctuary. Let us share this affirmation of divine love that's in the middle of page 2. Divine love
is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for this church now. Divine love is now victorious, and so it is. Wonderful affirmation. Practice it, practice it. Change the word of our church. Put your name, but you affirm love for everything that you say, do, or think. We have an inspirational reading that's from Dr. Carol Khan. The title is "The Truth is Available to All." It is hard to love those actions, it is hard to love those whose actions we abhor. The dictator, the oppressor, the killer, the abuser. But universal love is not affection. It is granting possibility to that soul. It is including everyone in the circle of life, which is forever seeking to reveal its love in life-supporting ways. It is seeing everyone as an expression of spirit, living from the level of their self-awareness. It is the knowing that awareness is everything and that everyone is capable of sudden and profound awakenings. In a way, it is ineffective to pray for peace. It would be more useful to hold the knowing that humanity is awakening to its spiritual origins. It would be more effective to know that no one is excluded from the truth. It would be closer to cause to believe that we are all the personifications of intelligence and love, that we are open at the top, ever-renewing possibility, that all is never lost. It is never too late. We need a deeper faith in ourselves and our human family. We need a universal kind of love. We need a universal kind of love. Thank you, Dr. Carnes. It is a wonderful bit of reading. Each person awakening to their own possibility of their own soul. So please join me now in that praise song, Life is for Living. Please stand. It's on your screen. I'm going to light the candle now for our youth. Let us do the prayer for our center since we are still standing, some of us. It's on a flyer in the middle of your program. Together, The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community, from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God, and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is. Oh yes. Will you please sit? Together, let us bless our young people. The blessing is in the middle of page 2. We love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. Oh yes, and from that blessing now, let us just sing our mission song. Of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. I'm sure Mr. Dexter singing with us every Sunday morning. I promise you. Oh, wow. We'll do our announcements. Do we have any first-time guests worshiping with us in person on this very special Sunday morning? If so, please stand and let us welcome you in our lovely Jamaican style. Nobody? Okay, we are all family. No, I believe that we should clap that. Thank you, family in the sanctuary and family online, for streaming with us this morning. We continue to live stream every single Sunday at 9 a.m. and on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. The recording is also available on YouTube right after the service. The schedule for this week is first thing tomorrow morning at 6, quiet moments in the garden when join Rev John Scott for a refreshing early morning bit of inspiration to allow you to go through the week. So that's at 6 o'clock. So you set your timers, your clocks, whatever your phone to beep at 6 o'clock to join Reverend John. Our spiritual on the Zoom platform as well. We use Facebook and Zoom on a Tuesday evening. This week, our presenter is Jennifer Livingston, practitioner Jennifer Livingston. I'm sure she's going to have something insightful to share. And the link we will send you on Tuesday mornings, I think, at about before noon, just before noon, in your email list. So just look it up Tuesday at noon for the Zoom link for Tuesday evening mind healing service. Discover this morning, right after church, I think it's at 10:30, we'll have Reverend John and Reverend Michael in the sanctuary. Please join us online on Facebook. And the topic this morning is how to be a peacemaker in a troubled world. How to be a peacemaker in a troubled world. And on Thursday evenings at 6, we have prayer power. That 1 hour of silence and music, and indeed sharing from others, just something special in the middle of the week to just egg us on for the weekend. That's at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. on Thursdays. Classes are now right in full swing. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. we have Rev Michael Reckord, 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace based on his Zoom. We will send that link through your mailing list. So just look, please, on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. On Thursdays at 11 a.m., Reverend John conducts a face-to-face class entitled Consciousness is What I Am, and that's based on the book by Joel Goldsmith. And at Thursdays at 7 p.m., right after prayer power, we have Reverend Sonia and Reverend Ann on Zoom, and their class is How I Used Truth, based on the writings of Emily Cady. So contributions for class, $1,200 or $10 US for registered members, and $1,600 or $12 US for others joining us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have an update from our strategic planning implementation group, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Sandy Cooper to come forward and give us an update on what is happening in our beloved Temple of Light. Thank you, Sandy. Yes.
Good morning, friends. Good morning. A lot has been happening behind the scenes as we prepare for the transformation of our beloved Temple of Light. And so just bear with us a couple minutes as I share with you an update for all of the strategic teams. The first is a Tech Action team, and I'll just share who they are, what the objectives are, their priority projects, progress to date, and some of the challenges and support that is required. So we have Theo, who has just stepped down for a few months because of his work demands, but I know he's still there. There's Christine Kink, Carmen Clark, Zoe Saunders, Lauren Suku, Vance Gardner, Tyrell Crary, and Sonia Williams, and Douglas Oreen. And just a primary focus to create an upgraded digital footprint of the Temple of Light, CSL. We have been online since COVID 2020, and we continue this way. So of course we want to be able to reach more people, provide more channels for people to participate, and of course to facilitate love offerings. Where the priority is now the website development and continuing to support via LoveStream. The progress so far, the outline of the website is complete, and a developer has been identified at a cost of $250,000. We have 100,000 pledged, so we have a difference of 150, which we're inviting, of course, contributions. And the LoveStream is urgently seeking persons who are willing to participate in learning how to make the Sunday morning experience a great one. And we would love to have our young people involved in this. For the governance team, led by Doreen Mallet Michael, Reverend Michael, Carol Charlton, Jeannie Barnes, and Karen Gentles, their focus is to provide a governance system for an evolving Temple of Light that is appropriate, effective, and responsive. They are redrafting the Temple of Light Constitution, and they are defining details of the governance structure and the terms of reference for various roles and functions. What they have done so far, they have completed an initial draft of the revised Temple of Light Constitution, And submissions have been made to the TMC and the strategic plan implementation team. So we're now defining and restructuring this framework within which this organization will function. We of course need a lot of additional persons to support that process. Our quadrants are now referred to as primary sectors. No timeline yet has been set for the completion of that work, but we're aware that this is urgent. The third is the curriculum development and delivery action team led by Dr. Tamu Davidson, Rev Ann, Karen Ford One, and Tony Henry. Welcome home, Tony. Good to see you. To procure and install a learning management system. This is to really facilitate online classes. We want to select the top 3 LMSs at the learning management systems, and we'll propose to, we also need to get a flow package to support it. Okay? So progress to date, we've reviewed and selected 3. They don't come cheap. Flow conducted an assessment and provided a quote, which is over 100,000 US per month. And that's a business plan, and there's no arrangement for faith-based organizations. So we are exploring the status of CSL as an educational organization, because that could make a difference. And the challenge is we need to have the stakeholders who will be teaching assess the courses when we have the options to determine which we will be using. And of course, we have to now confirm our status as an educational institution. The Youth Action Team, we have T.K. Dawkins, Chris Jackson, Elite Nelson, and Reverend Ann. Of course, the youth is the foundation that we are now building the future of the Temple of Life. We want to be able to educate our Temple children and young adults from 4 to 17 on the science of mind principles and empowering them and in wonderful, entertaining ways. We want to be able to bring the Temple children and the young adults together in both educational and social settings, so they'll get to know each other well, develop a tight-knit community, and improve on social interaction skills. Priority projects, of course, Sunday school to facilitate an official curriculum. We want to be able to bring them together through games in the garden, which will have prizes and surprises. We also want to bring back poetry in the garden, which will have a strong input of our youth. Progress to date, the Basil Dawkins play generated $100,000 for urgent repairs to the Sunday school building. And we're going to be meeting to discuss both activities that will be scheduled for this month and planning for what is needed. Of course, we want children. We want to bring your children, friends' children, and your friends' children's children, because we want to be able to sort of infuse new and fresh energies into our temple. Okay, so it's right now because we have such a small number, we're not able to divide into the various levels of learning. So that can be a bit of a challenge. So we might have 3 to 6 children on a Sunday, and that makes it a little challenging. Of course, we want additional volunteers for that. Culture, which is Carol Campbell, myself, and Steve Golding. We want to see the Temple of Light far more youth-friendly. You know, a lot of us have been around for a while, so we really want to have our young people joining us. It was decided that the starting point for cultural transformation of the temple has to begin with the youth, as they are the critical factors in the ongoing relevance and growth of our temple, and the ability to raise the consciousness of the congregation and community. So the work is going with the youth to find actionable items that we can implement, and also to explore ways in which the principles, values, and tenets of the temple can be incorporated and disseminated in all facets of the life of the temple and its membership. Of course, what we have been doing so far, we have been using Steve's reggae version of the mission song in our Sunday morning service. And what we need volunteers with a keen interest in culture in all its forms, and this is needed very, 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 very urgently. Financial sustainability. We have Faye Kessler, Denise Inglis, Valerie Brown, Jennifer Livingston, Dennis Chung, and Romaria Perkins. And they're working with the Board of Trustees to develop a financial sustainability plan to drive income generation to sustain the work that we do here. Immediate priorities, we want to invite you to contribute to building and strengthening the relationship that we have together as a community. We need donations and income generating initiatives. Working with the Board of Trustees to develop and implement a financial sustainability plan. That is under progress. And we are also now waiting further instructions from the Board of Trustees and the updated membership database. And of course, lots of issues have come up beforehand, and we are working on addressing those. There are two other things that I want to mention. The public relations, there's a public relations and marketing team that has been established. It's not yet implementing, but it is being led by Rev Michael and Christine, because we need to have some facility that is able to market and support all activities within the temple. We feel that what is existing now works, but it can work a lot better. We want to improve our social media presence, to get a monthly newsletter, to update our database. We need to, what we have so far, we have job descriptions for the role of marketing and communication for an intern, and we are sourcing such a person from Carimac to commence work later in this month for a period of about 8 to 12 weeks. And Dr. Tamu has been instrumental in doing that. So we need approximately 48 to 72,000 to pay a stipend for this intern. And of course, we need volunteers to write articles to support our PR effort. And the last thing, she said, thank God. The last thing is, I've jumped. The last thing is, I don't know if you realize that Reverend Elma produced a whole heap of material during her lifetime. And there is now a focus on digitizing and typesetting her sermons. And it's part of our priority. And Karen Gentles has volunteered to type up the sermons, and we have raised approximately $150,000 to facilitate this process, because after the typing up, then there's a lot to go into it with regards to publication. And so once all that is done, we'll need an about $3 million to publish. So guys, there are two things that stand out to me in this report. One is we need your input. We can't do this alone. It's the same persons doing the same things, and we are doing it with love and with light. But we need your help. There's a lot of wonderful professional expertise in this community, and we'd love you to help us. We do get a lot of persons saying, we need to do this, we need to do that. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's use our hands and feet and our heart. We need bodies. We need persons to step up, and we need your financial support. So I just declare it and know it, and I just know that Spirit is just working out the property. All right, thank you very much for your patience, and we look forward to see the rise and wonderful temple of light.
Thank you, Sandy. It's a lot to say in a few minutes, but at least let you know that, wow, we're moving full speed ahead to broaden our horizons, and we need everybody on the ship, every single man at a post, because it's our temple. It's not anybody else's. It's our place, this, and nobody can take control of it. And sure, that ship is running perfectly, efficiently, and successfully. So join us, everybody. Join us. Thank you so much, Sandy. It was a lot for you to write for this Sunday morning. Thank you, and all those persons who participated in giving us this wonderful report. May I clap you all again? Okay, to finish up, we continue to respond to all your requests for prayer. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our Sunday service. On duty this morning is practitioner Carol Charlton, and the number to call is 876-289-0907. However, if you wish to speak to a minister, you can call that same number, 876-289-0907, Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 midnight. And in that vein, I want to thank you all for your financial support. In this time, yes, we can do it. So please, when you think of how you can give to your community, we have all the avenues there on donate.templeoflightcsl.org, which has all our banking details. Donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And we want to thank you for your generosity, your spirit, your time, your talent, your treasure, your support, your consciousness, because we are that beacon of light at 4-6 Fairway Avenue. We are and will continue to be. So join us. So that's donate.templeoflightcsl.org. This concludes the announcements. Please join me in the singing of our first hymn, Indwelling God. The words are in your program and it's on your screen. Right, so please stand and let us sing. Top of page 3. Sit. Now that we have settled back into our seats, please join me now in welcoming Rev Michael Reckord to the podium with another insightful message and encouragement this morning. I hope you have your pens and your paper, because you may get homework. You may. Welcome, Rev Michael.
Thank you, Reverend Ann. Good morning, friends of the Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living. I greet those here in the physical sanctuary, as well as my online audience. Reverend Ann said, get out your pencils and papers, or pens and papers. Yes, you might very well need it, because today I'm going to be giving you a summary of a class. It's a lovely, lovely Sunday morning here in Kingston, Jamaica. The day is beautiful, a gift from nature that we in Jamaica are given anew most mornings of the year. And the church is beautiful, thanks to the care given to the grounds and building by a handful of loving people, ministers and staff. Along with the beauty of this center, there is calm and serenity. Now, numerous persons have remarked on that sense of peace they feel as soon as they enter the premises. Now, I want you to the beauty and peace of the temple, of the premises. I want you to add to that the fact that the Temple of Light has been serving our community for more than 41 years. And when you do that addition, what do we get? Answer: a successful church. Well, success and peace are the topics of my talk this morning. Now, you all have, I know, some peace and success in your lives right now. But who wants more? Let's see the hands. More peace, more success. Lovely, lovely, good. So the talk, hopefully, will be useful to you. It is based on the Centers for Spiritual Living 10-week online course that was mentioned earlier in the announcements. To remind you, it is called 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. And it starts on Tuesday coming. If you're interested, please register with the Temple of Light office and attend on Zoom at 7 p.m. The course calls for a lot of inner work, a lot of meditation, a lot of visioning, a lot of introspection. And this involves asking yourselves and one another deep spiritual questions. And not only asking, but listening for the answers that you get from Spirit. There are 10 modules in the course, one a week. And these are the topics for each week. 1. And I want you to think about those topics, how they would relate to you, how they would relate to your life as you hear the topics. The first one, be open to everything and attached to nothing. Number 2, don't die with your music still in you. Was that from Angela the musician? No, other people have music. We all have music within us. The third topic, you can't give away what you don't have. Topic number 4, embrace silence. Topic number 5, give up personal history. Think community, think the world, think humanity. Number 6, you can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Now, Some of you have heard that statement before. We'll come to it later. Number 7, there are no justified resentments. I'd like to repeat that one, and there is a particular personal reason why that one struck a chord. There are no justified resentments. Number 8, treat yourself as if you are already where you want to be. Again, I know most, if not all of you, have heard that statement, perhaps phrased a little differently. Treat yourself as if you are already where you want to be. Think 2,000 years back. Number 9, treasure your divinity. And number 10 in the 10th week, avoid thoughts that weaken you. So those are the 10 topics for the 10-week course. I'll only discuss a couple in detail this morning. There just isn't enough time for all. Plus, you surely would not want me to spoil the pleasant surprises that are in store for participants. But I'd like to hear the thoughts of those who are in the sanctuary on some of the topics. I wish I could also hear those from those online, but I'm not sure the technology is up to it. So in a minute, I'll ask different people in different groups around the sanctuary to respond to some of the topics without consulting one another. Someone in each group, just give me a comment on the topic. You could explain why you think the topic is true, or you could give an illustration of its truth. I'll start with the first topic. Be open to everything and attached to nothing. Here are my thoughts on it. My initial response to the injunction was that it's good advice. It's a way of saying we should be flexible, willing to change. On page 143 of the Science of Mind text by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, we have the information that since we have the gift of choice, we're always choosing. And I quote, "We cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is choice. If it were not so, we would not be individuals," says Dr. Holmes. And he continues, "We are individuals, and the only way we can be individuals is to be spontaneous," unquote. Now, if we are spontaneously forever choosing, we are forever changing. So we had better be open to everything and attached to nothing. We'd be very unhappy trying to hold on to the things that keep on changing. We can't live in the past, right? I mean, literally, we can't live in the past. We can only live in the ever-changing now. And figuratively, we shouldn't live in the past. Now, in addition to a topic or a theme, each class is divided into segments. In addition to a topic or theme, each class has these other segments. For discussion of set questions, that's one segment. For meditation, that's another. There's a segment for visioning about the week ahead, and there are introspection exercises. Here is one of the discussion questions in the first class. Think about it. You have a choice between magic wand A, which can bring you any physical thing that you desire by simply waving it. And you also have wand B, which gives you a lifelong sense of peace. Which would you pick? Any physical thing that you desire, or a lifelong sense of peace? The assumption here is, and it's of course where we would be discussing it, the assumption is that getting the physical thing either will not give you lasting peace, or it may not give you peace at all. At some stage, and maybe at all stages of your life, you'd feel stressed, anxious, maybe even unhappy. Let's face it, you could feel stressed, anxious, and unhappy while in possession of some physical thing that you desire. In fact, most of us have felt stressed, anxious, and unhappy at some times over the past year. Yes? Perhaps even right now. And we now have lots of physical things that we desire. The wand would give you just one more. So, having thought it out with me, maybe the lifelong feeling of peace is the better choice. What do you think? Even if we don't have the house or the car or the significant other that we so desire, we might be willing to not have those, but have the lifelong sense of peace. So what's the lesson learned? That things don't make us happy. Things don't bring peace. Another discussion question is, if you had infinite patience, how would you live differently? So, ask yourself, are you ever impatient with yourself or with others? That would be impossible in the new scenario if you have infinite peace. Infinite peace means that you'd become perhaps an optimist and have an optimistic view of life all the time because you're ever hopeful. The third question, where in your life do you feel most attached? And what can you do about detaching from that area? Now, when I reach that third question, I don't know about you, but that question makes me wonder if my conclusions in the first question about being attached to nothing, if my conclusions were right. I mean, suppose you're attached to a spouse or a child. Why would you want to detach? So there's a lot of sharing in the exercise segment for the classes, as you can see. In the first class, for example, students tell of something they believe which others won't believe. In that section of the class, that exercise section, they give their vision for the coming week. And they also do introspection on the stories, quotes unquote, that they tell themselves about three things: your relationships, your health, and body, your work projects, and your personal time/spiritual practice. What are the stories that you tell yourself about those things? What are the stories you tell yourself about your relationships, for example, with family, with friends, with acquaintances, with the casual persons that you met. What are the stories that you tell? And they are stories, in quotes, because they may change tomorrow. They are not permanent. It's things that we will discuss. Here's an easy question for you now. What happens in the universe when you set a firm intention? What happens in the universe when you set a firm intention? I want somebody to tell me, what happens in the universe? Anybody? When you set your intention? The universe, I hear the answer from behind me, not in front. I wonder why. The universe adjusts itself to fulfill that intention. You affect the universe when you set yourself a firm intention. Thank you, Rev Ann. So that's roughly what happens in class 1. Before I start to explore the second module in the second week, which has the topic, Don't Die with Your Music Still in You, I would like to ask some of the questions to people in the different segments. So, I'm just looking for the questions. Sorry. We spoke about the first one already, be open to everything, attached to nothing. I'm going to deal with that second one, don't die with your music still in you. But I'd like people over here, anybody over in this segment over here, to answer the question. You can't give away what you don't have. What are your thoughts on you can't give away what you don't have? Anybody over in this section? You can't give away what you don't have. Nobody wants to respond to that? Nobody has any thoughts about it? No? No? All right, let's go to this other segment. Give up personal history. And I'm looking in this sort of direction, including Jennifer, and going way back. Give up personal history. Who has any immediate thoughts on that one? Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer says, it means, at one level, don't hold on to anything that has happened in the past. Don't take what happened in the past personally. Good, thank you. This section here, this is a broad section. I'm looking through the columns. You can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Anybody in this section here? You can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Go ahead, Courtney. That's right. Thank you. Thanks, Courtney. Yes, agree. Got you. Courtney points out that if you keep the same mindset that brought up certain problems, those same problems will keep on recurring. Very good. Thanks, Courtney. Go ahead. And we hear from this original section that I was asking about. Change your thinking, change your life. Don't hold on to. You can't solve the problems with the same mindset that created them. So change them and you change your life. Go ahead, Doug. Oh, yes. I like the simplicity of that one. We could discuss that quite a bit. Doug Orain, for those who didn't hear, instead of taking things personally, use we rather than I for the events that occur in your life and see the shift that takes place. Thanks, Doug. Really interesting. Good. So, let me move on to the second week and the second module. We are here to, the statement, don't die with your music still in you, that was question number 2, means that we are here to express ourselves, to express our individual music, if you wish. We are here to express as God expresses in the universe. Now, expression is natural. In fact, it is divine. Here's how it works. The universe is an expression of God, and the universe, of course, includes us. And because we do what God does, we are part of God, we have to express our own universe, which is our lives. So, we don't want to die without expressing the music, our lives, that is within us. We want to live to the fullest extent. To put it in the terms used by sociologist Abraham Maslow, we desire to self-actualize, to be the best we can be in all the ways that we can be. So we definitely don't want to die before expressing the talents we have. So these are excellent discussion questions, as you can see. And I want to go on to another module. Which do you consider to be more important? What you feel or what you know? What you feel or what you know? So there is an immediate response, but the class asks you to discuss different situations where either one is more important. So that one situation that certainly springs to my mind is someone, person A, feeling love for person B. So they're going they have that feeling, but they know that person B is bad for him or her. In that case, what do you follow? Do you follow your feeling or do you follow what you know? Again, all these things are really quite interesting. There we go. And Sandra, a practitioner here, thinking deeply, thinks you could feel intuitively that the person is wrong for you. But then what about the knowing part of it, right? You're feeling that. What about the knowing part? What is it that you know? Again, we're not going to discuss them here, but you can see that these are interesting topics for discussion. Here's one more. If you are guaranteed a living doing what you love, what would you do? And that question, I'm going to touch on it. Though I know that most of you, if not all, have thought about it a million times. My question is what you are doing now what you want to do? And if not, why not? So that was my question. But the question that is asked by the chorus, I also find very interesting. How would your preferred course of work serve other people? That leads to another important question. If your chosen work serves only yourself, could you really continue happily doing it for the rest of your life? Now I asked about your preferred work, but maybe the thing that you would want to do for the rest of your life and be guaranteed a living is not work at all, but perhaps lying on a beach all day long, eating fish and bami, and drinking coconut water. That could be what you want to do or for the rest of your life, and you would be guaranteed an income. But is that possible? Yes. Do you have any ideas on how you could be eating fish and bami and still earning a living? Yes, I have one. Here's one. The company producing the fish and bami and coconut water pays you handsomely for advertising their products by lying on the beach, eating and drinking. Okay, all sorts of interesting possibilities. You could, oh, Sandy is, what you had for breakfast this morning? You are bubbling. Right, so Sandy's a cook, you know, I should need to ask her. It was something delicious, I know. Last question that I'm going to deal with here. It's a bit more philosophical. How is failure an illusion? How is failure an illusion? And is failure really an illusion when hundreds of people, if not thousands, have committed suicide because of some failure or other? To them, it was real. So is the question, you have to ask the question if it's a genuine question, a valid question. How is failure an illusion? They are assuming that it is. Folks, that is just skimming the surface of the course. But it starts on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, if you're interested. The course again, 10, I'm looking for it, 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. I got some interesting responses. I can see that you know the theory. You know in your heart, if, in addition to knowing the theory with your mind, you know in your heart if you're doing the practice. I won't ask you to confess in public right now. So for now, let me just say, Namaste.
Lots of food for thought. Thank you, Reverend Michael. 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. I'm here listening to some of the questions. What would I do? Right. I love ministry. That's the music that flows from me, so I'm not going to die with that. And I live in a community that allows me to sing my music that comes from me. So I'm not attached to anything because everything that flows from my song from within me allows me to express my divinity. I get time to embrace my silence, and I treasure that divinity. And what it means for me is that I can give from that, as well as it allows me to avoid thoughts that do not serve me. I think that's all the 10 topics that... It's an interesting, really interesting class. You really should join. So, friends, thank you, Reverend Michael, for giving us something to think about. What about that music that is within you? Each one of us. And we have a community that allows you to sing paeans of praise. All right? Okay, our musical items this morning are Jamaican folk songs, right? That allows us to sing of success. All right, Angela, you're going to start us off. Please join me. I'm not music. It's all of us is musical item this morning. Solas Market, I'm sure everybody know that one. Come ready? Come, Reverend. Come on.
Come we go down, come we go down, come we go down at Solas Market.
Come we go down, come we go down.
We go by
Again. Come we go down, come we go down at Solas Market. Come we go down, come we go down. We go buy banana, banana solas. We go buy banana. We go down to solas. We go buy banana. Come we go down, come we go down, come we go down to Solas Market. Come we go down, come we go down. We go buy banana. Go down to Solas. We go buy banana. We go down to Solas. We go buy banana. Come we go down, come we go down, come we go down to Solas Market. Come we go down, come we go down. We go buy banana. Okay. We're gonna share mango time. You know mango time? Mango time. Mango time. Mango time. Come on, let's just do that again. Coffee tea, mango time. Mango time. Mango time. Yes, Carol. Mango time. Mango time. Mango time. No drink coffee, tea. Mango time. Carol nice and baby. Mango time. And we have the mango crop when the fruit them and ripe drop. Wash your pot, turn it down. Mango time. Wow. We have a wealth of talent in this space. Now I'll turn you over to Reverend Michael.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Not all of us know our own folk songs, but what beautiful melodies that I really, really enjoyed. Even if I couldn't hear some of the words, I love the piano. Thanks, Angela. Carol Charlton seemed to have known most of the words.
Thanks,
Good.
Google, honey, Google.
Please join me now in the prayer of Jamaica. It's on your screen or in your program. Please stand for the prayer of Jamaica. Together, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and the oneness under God are now established, and so it is. Thank you. Please remain standing for our second hymn, We Build a New Tomorrow, on page 3 in your program, and it's on the screen. Please remain standing, and would you please take your love offering blessings in your hand. If you are online and you are about to press the donate button, please just put your hand on your heart and let us say the love offering blessings found on the envelope. Together, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So, thank you, Father. So it is. So it is. Please join me in the closing affirmative prayer, after which there will be a peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth. God is all there is. There is nothing but God. And in this service we have opened our hearts and opened our minds to the peace of God, to the joy of God, to the abundance of God's thoughts and ideas, to the abundance of its creation. We have opened our hearts also to the calm and the serenity of God. We have opened our hearts to the divine order of the universe in which we live. And above all, we have opened our hearts and been led by the light, the wisdom, the knowledge of God, and the love of God. And as we prepare to go to our separate destinations, we take all those blessings that we have received in this service, and we share them with all those with whom we come into contact. And because of that activity, and because of this service, because we have opened our minds and hearts, because we are aware of our unity with God and all of life, the world is blessed. The world becomes a little bit more loving, and we move continuously in that direction, more and more love. I know that I have spoken the truth, and I release my words into the law of mind, giving thanks that what I have said is so together, and so it is. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the home of God. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And a few reminders right after. In about 10, 12 minutes, there is discussion, the Discover session with me and with Reverend John. Tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 o'clock in the morning, quiet moments in the garden with Reverend John. On Tuesday evening, there is the spiritual enrichment service at 6 o'clock. And you'll get your link on Wednesday morning and again on Friday morning. Reverend John is with us. But on Thursdays, we have quite a bit happening. Well, Tuesday night, there is my own class, which is beginning at 7. On Thursday mornings at 11, Reverend John has a class, and at 7, Reverend Ann and Reverend Sonia have classes. And of course, we are all back here in the sanctuary or online for the Sunday service next week at 9 o'clock. Yes, there is peace.